This one's going out to all the glass companies that telling people they have to buy a new insulated glazing unit anytime a seal breaks or a pane breaks. It's not the case, and it's obviously much cheaper to fix it yourself, and you can do it as soon as you can get to it rather than waiting weeks for the glazing to be manufactured and shipped to you. We did this repair this way because we were many hours away from home. I broke a pane pulling a cap bar which had butyl tape on it holding the glass in, and the force of the butyl adhesion as the bar was being removed pulled the glass with it and cracked it. So we had no moisture issues, just had to buy a new piece of glass from a local glazing shop. If you have Dessicant leaks in their fogged glass, you would obviously clean those out as is described in the video. I neglected to say that it would probably be a good idea to refill the bars, the spacer bars, with Dessicant. For that, just a plain silica gel will work fine. The commercial units have a couple other things in there, but it's mostly just silica gel anyway. So put that in there and then reseal the holes. This video starts after the glass has been removed, which seems pretty self-explanatory, but you basically just take a utility knife and cut through the caulking and between the metal spacer bar and the glass all the way around the unit. Lift that top piece of glass, clean if it's fogged, or usually probably even if it's not, and then replace as is shown. You want to cut out as much of the caulking as you can so that you get fresh caulking in there and good adhesion to all surfaces as is described. Last thing I wanted to point out is that we did this by the books because it was a good commercial account we want to keep happy. If you're doing this as a homeowner you could probably get away without that primary seal, the butyl. If you have access to butyl sealant, it would be a good idea to use it. If you're a pro, you should definitely use it. But you could probably get away without it. And if you're doing this in hot weather, it would probably be unnecessary to heat and compress that as is shown, because when you screw it into the building, the heat and pressure will compress it naturally. But I didn't want to take any chances, so we did everything by the books, and you can decide which corners to cut as you do whichever job you're looking at this for. Without further ado, here's the video. Going?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing here is replacing the primary seal. There's two seals on a piece of glass. This is the innermost seal. This is a butyl gasket. I've cut this in half, so it's about a 1/4 inch wide. I'm sticking it to the separated inner light of the glass. Cut it in half the first time, peel that back. If this seal, so we broke a piece of glass, or I broke a piece of glass here, just the outer light, and this is the metal spacer bar, which is full of Dessicant. If the seal had been compromised, we would have to drill a couple holes in the spacer bar carefully from the outside, and then flush that out with water until it ran clear, and then wash the glass, and then let the spacer bar dry for a couple days. But since this spacer bar has not been compromised, there's very little moisture in here. This glass is 100% clean, washed out with Windex, rather than a squeegee to keep the moisture out again, so that this Dessicant is good. Now after this seal is on, it will be mostly watertight to the inside, but it still gets a second layer of seal, which we'll do in a minute, which is called the secondary seal, and that is going to be silicone. Neutral cure silicone, not acetyl cure. Silicone smells like vinegar, that means it's acetyl cure, which is not good for this application. So now that I've got that down all the way around, you can peel off this. Now once this heats up, that gasket's going to be Alright, the primary seal is in, and you can see that it's not fully adhered because of some of the imperfections in the butyl. See, the dark areas is where it's adhered and this area is not. So we need to heat this up and press it down so that this is 100% vapor tight all the way around. Mostly adhered, a little bit at the corner still needs it. Camera credits.
Yeah, you're gonna cut that right out.
Yeah, okay.
Fucker. I can.
And even with a heat gun, you don't want to keep it on any one part of the glass too long because glass will break from thermal expansion. I'm trying to heat up the whole area so that it doesn't expand in one area too much, too quickly crack. Zoom in here, Chris. So now you can see it's dark continuously the whole way along, which means that this is going to keep the moisture out. Okay, now we're ready for the secondary seal, and the most important part of this is to make sure that the edges are completely clean of any butyl or old caulking, because if there's anything stuck to this, it's going to let it channel for the water to get through and moisture, and then the seal will be compromised. So make sure that the glass is completely clean, and then we can put on the secondary seal. Here I'm going to be using a GE product, SCS 2800. This is a neutral cure silicone. Secondary seal has to be silicone, and it should be neutral cure, so it shouldn't smell like vinegar when you put it on. Dow Corning 795 is another really good product that cures a little bit slower than this, so we're not using that today. Dow Corning 995 is another good one. Anything neutral cure silicone. So again, I'm just making sure. You can see I still got some air bubbles here if you look at it on the edge. So I need to fill this up as much as I can. And once that's on, I just take a black plastic putty knife, tool my edge along like that. Take any extra caulking and go in like that. Obviously this is not as neat as a factory is going to do it, but this is the only option. This will work. I want to keep my knife on an angle like that so that it pushes the caulking forward and into the joint. And now if you look at my edge, you can see that I have just about complete adhesion. I was aiming for a 1/4 inch all around. Got at least an 1/8 of an inch plus, so that's plenty. This light of glass is going to be good as new. And here's the final piece a couple hours after the GE caulk went on. You can see it's pretty well set up. This is a quick set neutral cure caulk, and all the edges are good.
Wiped off the residue from the caulking with xylene and cleaned both sides and ready to put this piece back in.